Hello friends, Cheryl here with Inked Pulp, and this is try 2 on this one. Apparently I filled up my hard drive with all the videos, and so I had to go and delete some. This is the journal, my nursing journal, nursing/CNA journal, and I am so proud of it. It came out so wonderful. So we're going to do a flip through today, and I found out that my gal who I'm giving it to doesn't work again until next Wednesday, so it'll be a little while before I can give it to her, but I'll do that next week. So here's where we ended up. We had this fabric over the whole journal, and then I put this doily over the top with some suggestions from my viewers that I originally had right behind her a little square pink. It was cardboard, but it was covered in pink paper to give her some better background. And they said, no, let the fabric show through. It's so pretty. So I did. And it wraps around the spine and a little bit on the back. And then I've got some charms. I've got some little scissors and a heart and some wings, a flower, another heart, and then just some beads. Now these can either go out the bottom. These are from the middle of the signature, so they can hang out the bottom or the top. For standing it on a shelf, it's easier to put them at the top. So that's what I did. All right, and then my nurse and flower. All right, and then I found some of this great aqua colored ribbon that I had in my stash, and the journal, the colors for this journal are like this aqua green and then another more sagey green and pink. Those are the primary colors, so this ribbon went really well. And I just put eyelets in there. I tied in the ribbon, and I probably can cut it down even closer now. I put some glue right at the knot. You can't see it, but I put some glue. And then I kind of sealed the edges so they won't fray, because this ribbon does fray. So I may go in and cut those a little bit shorter, but I may not. We'll see. All right, on the inside cover, I have, the lace pocket. And we have this tag. It's got really steep sides. It's different. And it's not really nursing related, but there's a lot of roses throughout this, and there are also butterflies. So I have that one, and then I sort of have a matching one for the back. It's different, but the same. More roses, butterflies, that same ribbon at the top. This one I tied a piece of twine. This one has a little flower. So similar. And sort of matching for front and back tags. And those pockets, she can put other things in them. I thought about leaving them just empty, and I thought, no, can't do that. All right, and then the first page is just a kind of an intro page. Nursing is a work of heart. And then on this page, I went back through and put lace across the top. I put some words on here. It says one patient at a time, some little ephemera in the pocket, and I love these bottles. This is one. This is another one that I put on here. And then this little red cross, but I love these little bottles. They're so cute. And then I've got little tiny brads that I put just through this piece and then glued it down for some decoration. All right, and then on this page, and I think this is the back side of the flap side of an envelope, I put just a little scrappy notepad with a piece of ephemera up here, and then just, little pages for a notepad. It's pink lace on the side. This one I love. This is another piece of ephemera out of the kit. I, darkened up the edges, and then I took some little brads and put them on there. The brads don't attach it to the page, but they are through the paper. and then the butterfly up here. All right, this is just a decorative page with lace along the side. And the back side of this, she was, if you remember, originally she was pretty bare. She didn't have this. I did put this on in the beginning, but I took a piece of muslin and glued on the cross here, the green that matches her dress, put on a word here, and then I added a button with some twine into a bow, and nothing on the inside. I decided not to put anything on the inside. All right, and then on a few of the pages, I did some of these little tiny decorations at the top of the page. This is just a piece of muslin with a tiny scrap of lace stapled to it and added to the top of that page. You know, it's funny because I still had other ideas of things I wanted to do. It's like, when are you ever really done with a journal? I think I could have worked on this probably another week, but I had to stop at some point. All right, a decorative page. And this bottle here is the same as this one over here. This one's just fussy cut. Okay, and then we have another one of these little bottles, and then a pink piece of ephemera for writing. I love this trim at the top here, this embroidered trim. It goes so well with the colors in this. I love that page. All right, and then we've got an index card, and then another little pocket. And on this pocket, I also put a piece of muslin and a word on top of it. I tried to have some of the elements consistent, like doing the same thing throughout, so that it would create some cohesiveness. And then just a couple of little pieces of ephemera. All right, here are those charms that go out over the top. They could also go down to the bottom. I love this page. And if you didn't see the video where I created this piece, hang on one sec. This looks a little bit dark to me. Let me brighten it up just a little bit. All right, this is a really interactive page. These 4 are all little writing pages with ephemera glued on the front of them. This is a slider, slides up and down. So if you slide it down, it opens up these. This one and this one. Okay. And then when you slide it back up, it opens up the bottom ones for writing. So I saw somebody do this, and I can't remember who it was, but I absolutely loved it. And then it kind of goes in the middle for keeping them all down. So if you would like to see a video on how this is made, let me know and I can put one together. But this is the center of the first signature. And so on this one, I put big heart, and I did stitch. This is a paper or piece of cardstock heart from the kit, but I did stitch around it, put some lace at the top with some pearls, and then I found this CNA survival kit. So just some, I didn't stitch around this one because it has so much on the front already, but she is technically a CNA and not a nurse, like a registered nurse. It's hard to find just CNA stuff. So a lot of this stuff is for nurses, but it definitely applies. This pocket it's a piece of cardstock covered in fabric. So this fabric that I happen to have was very similar to this green paper. So I used it a lot throughout the journal. All right, on this page, I've got another one of these little envelopes, put a little butterfly on there, compassion. Here's another piece of that green fabric with a piece of ephemera stuck on the top, like a little label. And then I've got some ephemera stuck down in there. And this lace is actually glued onto the back, not the front. So We've got this gal. This is just a decorative page, Make a Difference. And then we've got her, got some little leftover glue there. I may go back over that with the glue eraser. This one, this was fun. I had this lace. It's a hand crocheted lace. And then I had a strip of this paper that came in the kit, and it matches this paper here. So I used that to make a tuck spot, and then we've got her and writing on the back. This is one of my shirt pockets, shirt collar pockets, but the colors, so it's not really nursing related, but the colors are so good, the pinks and the aqua. And then I happen to have this in my stash, which is another one of the cards that was in this set here. Okay, what did I do with it? Yeah, it, see, it really matches that, but it has the same colors. So while this particular card, The Best Is Yet to Be, is not specifically nursing related, it is. And some pretty lace across the top. Here's more of that green striped paper. And then on this page, I had this piece already made up. It was a little glassine bag with flowers on the front, and then I had some rickrack and lace down here. It does have a tag in it that isn't really related to nursing, but that's okay. It fit perfectly in there. And then on this side, we've got more of the roses. Okay, so that's got a couple of, and then this actually was the other side of the envelope from the back side, and so I covered it with that green fabric. I cut the top so we could put something in it. And over on this page, I did some stenciling on there as well. I had this piece minus the nurse's hat. I already had that done, this double journaling card, pretty paper on the back. And so I decided to add the nurse's hat and just slip it in there like that. Okay, here's another one of the little lace, tiny lace clusters. That just decorates the page. This is a fun page. Again, lace across the top, another piece of the muslin with the word on the top. And then this is a little scrappy notepad, and look at that. I was able to cut a slit in there and stick the bottle down in as if it were truly in the basket. And then it's just a little scrappy notepad, and then I have this little ephemera card. This is actually glued down. And then this is the same gal from the front. I have some leftover strings and stuff in here. This is the gal from the front with some lace and ribbon on the side. This is that page again with lace, and then I put the red ribbon to match the red there. This is another one of those flaps from an envelope that we'll see later. So I covered it in the green paper. I found this little piece and this little piece in the kit, so I used that as a tuck, and this here. And then caring, again, over a piece of muslin. You open it up, it's just the green paper, but I hinged in a little pocket. Is this an envelope or just a pocket that I made? I don't remember. But this is the paper that's in the kit. And then I just put some butterflies on it. This is a rub-on that I put on the back side. And then it's got a little card in here. Okay, another page. We've got some lace across the top, now I also did stitch around this. So it's stitched. And the nurse here, and she's saving lives. Another one of those little pieces at the top, a little bit of ribbon, a little bit of lace. Oops, come on, focus. There we go. Another decorative page with some lace. This lace is over 100 years old. This is some of my antique lace. And then, oh, I love this trim too. Look at this trim at the top here. Isn't that just pretty? I got that at an estate sale. I don't have a lot of it, but I wanted to use it here. So I've got a tag and some of that muslin, again, as a tag topper, and just some little pieces in here. I've got a little piece of, oops, come on, the paper. I've got another little bottle, the envelope with the rose that matches this, and she's providing, or we're talking about comfort here. Okay. I love this page. This says patient notes, and here's a sheet to write on, something to write on. And then we've got this little nurse in here who is looking up at the notes. Some lace and hospital. I did not put the muslin behind this. I didn't do that every time, but several times. All right, this is the center of the second signature, and here's the front of that centerpiece. Again, an envelope, a little bit of lace down here, and some ephemera. Now, here's the center, and I love this. This is some pink lace that I put all the way across. Actually, I cut it so it would fold, but it goes all the way across. This is the corner of a double sheet. In fact, I could probably go back and find where I used the double sheet or the page. I just cut it around, put a word on it, and then I put this nurse's hat on here. And inside, I found this little CNA, Certified Nursing Assistant, with all the little shoes and the symbols and all the little things. And I put, the aqua colored lace behind it. So that's kind of fun. And then on this side, I made this a long time ago. This is a lace pocket or envelope. And in it, I have this little double journal card with the green again. And then it's got a Velcro closure with a little button and some trim down here at the bottom. And then inside I have a journal card. So that's one of my fun pages. And what I did on the inside pages, see, this has got fabric. So this is the textiles. And it's got a CNA specific card in it. This one has the lace for the textile, and then the CNA specific card. So I try to make the centers have some consistency. This is fun. This is a bag with a great big old journal card in it. This is from one of the pages we saw earlier, and I just decorated it with some things here from the kit, nursing care, and then there's room to write on the back. So that's a big envelope. And then I've got the clipboard with some notes on it, and I've got her kind of looking up at that, and she's got a lot of empathy. Okay, this is one of my favorite pages. So I had in the, this is a belly band. In the kit, I had this nurse's uniform. So I fussy cut that out. And then on another page, in fact, it was this page right here. Do you see how we have all these papers off to the side? Well, I printed this out bigger, and then I cut it down the middle. And if you look real close, you can see the seam at the top and a little bit at the bottom where they were put together. And then I used washi tape and glued it together. So it was the nursing uniform with all the pages behind it, and it made a belly band. And I've got this card with all the nurses and flowers on the back. So I love that belly band. It's just so different. And then this is something else that I had in all of my ephemera that was already made. It's, the flowers. We've got some pink and the aqua. I always wondered, where would I ever use this? I glued on the smile, and then I just took one of these little bottles and stuck it in there. And then we have, she believed she could, so she did. I have a little vintage lace across the top. This is the back side of the envelope, and I closed it. So this is just pretty sure I closed it. Yeah, I didn't leave it open. You could, if somebody gets this and they want to go along and cut just the edge of that, they could open it up and make a pocket out of it because it is an envelope. But again, the muslin, and then I did put a little piece of lace on top of that, and then work of the heart. And then this gal, who is touching lives, is the same as, where did she go? Where did she go? She was way back here. She is on a, I thought she was closer here to this part. Anyway, she's on a bigger page that I use. So some things I did use twice, and I think it's fine to do that because I don't think you remember necessarily as you're going through, because I use them in different ways. I don't know where she went. Maybe she's up in the front. Where did she go? There she is. See her? It says make a difference. Well, that's her again. Now she's printed here on presentation paper, so her colors are a little more vibrant than they are here because this is just copy paper. Okay, and then this is a pocket that is stitched around, made it a pocket, and the piece inside is the exact same card, only smaller. And then I put a tab on it. The tab is the same pattern as this paper behind. And one of the things I thought about doing was making some little charms to hang off of these tabs, but at some point you got to stop, right? And then the very last page, I love these scales. And then, of course, this pocket that I showed you. I also put some corners on this. So it is ready to go. The one thing that I do want to do is go through with my glue eraser and I saw a couple of spots that had glue that I would like to get rid of, but that's it. That is my nursing / CNA journal. I think she's really going to like it. I hope these are her colors because it's kind of the colors that the kit came in, and there aren't a lot of nursing kits out there without being really like old vintage nurses. And even some of these in here are. So, and then it ties with that. So that is the flip through. I love how this journal turned out. I hope that she does too. I think she will, but I really love it. I love it, love it, love it. So thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about this. I've never seen, I'm not saying it hadn't been done, but I've never seen a nursing journal before. So I'll be curious to see what you guys think of it. All right, everybody, have a great day, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.